The galaxy had been quiet for a long time. For almost 200 years, no wars had reached the outer sectors. Many species had grown comfortable, thinking peace would last forever. But in the far reaches of space at the edge of Varkesh territory, something unusual was coming. On a small mining colony called Lurok Station, sensors suddenly picked up a massive object moving through the void. It was slow but enormous. The colony commander, a human-looking alien named Rivan, stared at the screen in disbelief. "This isn't any ship we know," he said. "It doesn't match any design in the Dominion records." The station's communication officer, Tessa, shook her head. "We should report it to Vareth immediately. It might be dangerous," Riven hesitated. He had learned over the years that panic could spread faster than any weapon. "Yes, send a report. But tell them to handle it carefully." No exaggeration. Far away in the heart of the Varkesh Dominion, Admiral Sorn was already worried. He sat in the command room of his flagship, surrounded by blinking lights and holographic displays. The report from Lurok Station had reached him faster than he expected. His claws tapped on the table as he studied the data. "Another ghost signal?" one of his officers asked nervously. Sorn growled. "It is no ghost. Look at the readings. That ship is huge. It is moving straight toward our space, and it ignores all scanning attempts. Something tells me this is not a mistake. The Varkesh Dominion prided itself on knowledge and control. The Council had charts and records of every ship design and weapon in the galaxy, and yet this ship matched nothing. Its hull shimmered in strange ways on the sensors, reflecting the void like it was alive. Meanwhile, far beyond the known territories, the ship itself drifted quietly. It was a human warship, called the USS Valiant, lost many years ago after a deep space accident. Inside, the air was thick with recycled oxygen, and the hum of the engines filled the halls. Captain Nathan Cole, a strong man with a steady voice, sat in the command chair. His uniform was worn but neat. He ran his hands over the console as if checking for the ship's health with his touch. "Status report," he said. Lieutenant Ava Brooks, a smart and determined officer, glanced at the screen. "Warp drive is stable, Captain. Life support systems are fully functional. Weapon systems are online, but power is limited." Cole nodded. "Good, keep it that way. We don't want problems before we reach safe space." The crew had spent years repairing the Valiant. They had scavenged parts from abandoned stations, old wrecks, and even from their own ship. It had taken time, patience, and hope, the one thing humans never lacked. And now, the ship was moving again. Back at Lurok Station, Riven and Tessa watched the unknown vessel grow larger on their sensors. "It's too fast now," Tessa said, anxiety in her voice. "It's not stopping." Riven felt a chill run down his spine. "It's heading for the nearest inhabited system. Send the coordinates to Vareth. We can't fight it here." In Vareth, the capital world of the Varkesh Dominion, Councillor Tyrion sat in the council chamber listening to the report. He had seen many strange things in his lifetime, but this unsettled him. His eyes narrowed as he spoke. "Are you telling me a ship unknown to us has crossed into our space? And it ignored all hails?" "Yes, Councillor," Admiral Sorn replied. "It is massive, slow, and heavily shielded. Our scans cannot penetrate its hull. It appears to be a warship." "Impossible," Tyrion whispered. He remembered old stories told to young Varkesh, legends about humans. Once, long ago, humans had fought against countless enemies and survived impossible odds. The stories said humans were clever, strong, and relentless. Most thought those tales were exaggerations. Most believed humans were gone forever. But now, he felt a cold fear creeping into his mind. The council debated loudly. Many dismissed the report, calling it a sensor error. Others argued that if the ship was real, it might only be a transport or an old vessel drifting in space. Tyrion sat quietly, staring at the display. Deep inside, he felt the truth. Humans had returned. Far from all this, on the Valiant, the crew prepared for what lay ahead. Captain Cole moved from console to console, checking every system. Ava Brooks followed closely, her eyes scanning the monitors. She had grown up hearing stories about human wars, stories of courage, tactics, and survival. But seeing a ship like the Valiant in action was different. This was real, and it had the power to change everything. "Course is set for the nearest jump point," Cole said. "We need to get out of this sector before anyone notices us." Ava frowned. "Captain, there are signals. Strong ones. Unknown languages. They are scanning us." Cole leaned back in his chair. "Then let them scan. We're not hiding, but we're not inviting trouble either. Humans don't run from fights we don't start. But we never start unless we must. The Valiant moved silently through the darkness, its hull gleaming faintly as distant stars reflected off the metal. On board, the crew worked efficiently. Every person had a task. Every action was calculated. They had trained for emergencies for the unknown, and now they faced it in the cold, empty void. Back at Lurok Station, panic spread as more readings came in. The unknown ship's path could bring it dangerously close to inhabited worlds. Communications were sent to nearby colonies. Systems that had never been armed were now mobilized. Fighters scrambled from small defense posts, and civilian ships began evacuation procedures. Admiral Sorn in Vareth received these updates, his claws clenched tightly around the edge of the table. If this is truly a human warship, then our records are incomplete. We do not know its full power. Counselor Tyrion stood, his voice trembling slightly. We may have ignored the warnings for too long. Humanity is not gone. They may be back, and they are strong. We must prepare. The Council ordered all fleets to mobilize. Ships of every class, from small frigates to massive dreadnoughts, were readied for combat. Systems across the Dominion went on high alert. Alarm sirens rang on planets, stations, and fleets. For the first time in decades, fear gripped the hearts of the Varkesh. Meanwhile, on the Valiant, Captain Cole received a message from the ship's artificial intelligence. Unknown fleet detected ahead, the calm AI voice said. They appear hostile. Estimated numbers, 50 warships approaching. Cole's jaw tightened. 50, we've seen worse. Prepare defensive systems. Weapons online. Shields at maximum. Let's see what they want. Ava looked at the captain. Captain! They may fire at us first, Cole nodded slowly. Then we'll remind them why humans survive. They may be powerful, but they have never faced a ship like this, and we are not ordinary humans. Outside the viewport, the stars drifted silently. Space was dark, cold, and vast, but filled with dangers waiting to strike. The Valiant moved steadily forward, cutting through the void. Unknown ships were coming, but the humans on board were ready. They had survived worse, and they would survive this. On Lurok Station, Tessa whispered, I hope they know what they're doing. Revan placed a clawed hand on her shoulder. Hope is all they have. But humans, they are more than hope. They are a storm waiting to arrive. And somewhere far ahead in the blackness of space, the Valiant continued its silent march. A human warship was returning. Its presence would change the galaxy forever. The Varkesh fleet moved fast. Admiral Sorn had ordered his ships to intercept the unknown vessel as it approached the inner sector. His massive dreadnoughts glimmered in the darkness, their shields glowing faintly as they cut through the void. Hundreds of smaller ships followed, forming a defensive net that would trap anything inside. The Admiral's claws tapped nervously on the command table. He had never seen anything like this. The readings showed a single ship, a massive, shielded, and unlike anything in the Dominion's archives. Admiral, they are still not responding to hails, said Lieutenant Kriv, a young officer with green scales and sharp teeth. His voice carried nervous tension. We have sent over 100 signals, nothing, they are ignoring us, Sorn growled. Then we make them respond in a way they cannot ignore. He leaned closer to the table and tapped a claw on a small screen. All units, prepare weapons. Charge plasma torpedoes. Activate shields at full capacity. We hit them hard if they do not comply. Back aboard the USS Valiant, Captain Nathan Cole had already detected the incoming fleet. He stood at the command console, calm as always. He watched the flickering dots on the display, representing enemy ships forming an almost perfect blockade. His crew moved efficiently, checking weapons and systems, knowing their lives might soon be tested. Lieutenant Ava Brooks glanced at the radar. Captain, there are over 20 cruisers ahead, all armed and scanning us. Their firepower is significant, but nothing unusual for an enemy fleet. They are trying to surround us. Cole studied the display. Let them try. Humans are not scared of numbers. We've faced more and we've survived. Keep weapons ready, but hold fire until they attack. We do not start battles, we do not need to. The tension grew. The Varkesh ships moved closer, their long-range scanners probing the Valiant's shields. The human sensors picked up energy readings, hull signatures, and weapon capabilities. Cole's crew analyzed every detail, trying to anticipate the enemy's next move. On the bridge, the lights dimmed slightly as the first warning alarms rang. Captain, they are locking weapons on us, Ava reported. Plasma cannons charging. This is serious. Cole nodded calmly. Raise shields to maximum. Alert all sections to battle stations. Let's show them what humans are capable of. In Varkesh space, the air, or what passed for air in the metal corridors of the warships, was tense. Officers barked orders, crews rushed to their stations, and the dreadnoughts moved into formation. Admiral Sorn's claws hovered over the command panel, ready to issue his first attack. Fire at will if they do not stop, he ordered. At that moment, the first plasma torpedoes left the Varkesh cruisers. Streams of green energy streaked through the void, aimed directly at the Valiant. The crew braced as the sensors registered the incoming fire. The massive shields of the human ship flared brilliantly, absorbing the impact. Sparks and energy ripples danced across the hull, but the ship remained unscathed. The Varkesh officers froze. Shields? Shields intact, one said, voice trembling. Impact registered, but the hull is untouched. Admiral Sorn's eyes widened. Impossible. These readings cannot be correct. No ship can withstand a direct torpedo strike like that. On the Valiant, Captain Cole observed calmly. They are testing us, he said. They want to see if our shields can be broken. They will learn soon enough. The human crew prepared their weapons. Railguns charged, particle beams lined up, and targeting systems calculated trajectories with precision. Ava Brooks's fingers flew across the console as she readied the first salvo, targeting enemy cruisers at the front. All systems optimal, Cole nodded. Fire when ready. The Valiant's weapons released a pulse of energy so powerful that the nearest 3 Varkesh cruisers were obliterated instantly. Pieces of metal and fire drifted through the void. The rest of the fleet staggered, shields flickering as their systems struggled to react. In the Varkesh flagship, chaos erupted. Officers screamed orders, but it was too late. The human ship was faster, smarter, and more powerful than they had imagined. Ships that had been confident now moved hesitantly, unsure how to proceed. Admiral Sorn slammed his claw on the table. Form a new line. Target the human ship together. Do not let it break through. But the Valiant moved with skill and precision. It twisted and turned, dodging torpedo salvos with smooth, calculated maneuvers. Railguns fired, tearing through enemy shields, leaving small cruisers in flames. Every action from the humans was coordinated. Every strike hit its mark. Lieutenant Ava Brooks reported calmly, Captain, the enemy flagship is retreating. Their formation is breaking. Casualties are heavy on their side. Cole stood tall, watching the battle unfold. Do not let up. Keep shields strong. Target their weapons. Make sure they understand we do not surrender. Humans never surrender. The Varkesh fleet panicked. Some ships attempted to flee while others tried to regroup. But the Valiant moved with terrifying efficiency. Each human weapon discharged was calculated, each attack precise. There was no panic on the human ship, no fear, only focus and determination. In the middle of the chaos, small pockets of Varkesh fighters launched surprise attacks. They hoped speed and numbers could overwhelm the humans. But even these small ships were no match. The Valiant's automated defenses intercepted torpedoes, and the railguns cut down attackers before they could approach. Ava Brooks reported calmly. All small fighters destroyed. Hull integrity at 98%. Weapons at full power. Captain, we are performing as expected. Cole nodded. Good, now send a message to any surviving ships. Tell them humans do not seek unnecessary wars, but we defend ourselves fiercely. The message went out in clear language. We do not want a fight. Stand down or be destroyed. But the Varkesh were too proud to listen. They had never faced humans before, but they would not back down easily. Admiral Sorn ordered a final strike, sending all remaining cruisers to converge on the Valiant. The human crew anticipated this. Shields reinforced, weapons aligned, engines at maximum. The first wave of enemy fire struck, and again the Valiant emerged unscathed. Then the humans countered. Their energy pulses tore through multiple ships at once, leaving debris scattered across the void. Hours passed. The battle raged, but slowly the Varkesh fleet began to break apart. Their ships were either destroyed, fleeing, or in chaos. The Valiant remained untouched, a single massive ship standing alone against hundreds. Ava Brooks looked at the captain. Captain, they are retreating. They've lost more than half their fleet. The rest are fleeing. Cole's voice was calm but firm. Let them go. We do not chase unless we must. Humans survive, but we do not slaughter unless necessary. The battlefield fell silent except for the occasional drifting wreckage. Smoke and sparks floated through the void where ships had been destroyed. The Valiant glided smoothly, shields flickering slightly but holding strong. On Lurok Station, reports of the battle reached the colony. People stared at the screens, unable to believe what they saw. A single human warship had destroyed more than 50 enemy ships without significant damage. Panic spread quickly. Some whispered that the humans were monsters, others that they were heroes. Admiral Sorn sat in his command room, defeated and angry. "How can one ship have this power?" he muttered. He clenched his claws tightly. "This cannot be possible. They are supposed to be extinct." Counselor Tyrion's words echoed in his mind. Humans were not gone. They had returned stronger than any legend. And now the galaxy would never forget the name of the human crew aboard the Valiant. Inside the Valiant, Captain Cole and his crew took a moment to breathe. Repairs were minor, systems were holding, and the crew's morale was high. They had survived their first real encounter with the Varkesh fleet. But Cole knew this was only the beginning. The Dominion would not forget this. They would prepare and more ships would come. Ava Brooks leaned over the console. "Captain, what happens now?"
Will they send more?
Cole looked at her, eyes steady. "Yes, they will. But humans have faced impossible odds before, and we always survive. Let them come. We will remind the galaxy why humans are feared and why humans never surrender." The Valiant turned its course, moving silently through the stars once more. The battle was over for now, but the war had only begun. The galaxy had seen humans fight again, and no one would ever underestimate them. The message was clear. A human warship was coming, and destruction followed wherever it went. The news of the destroyed fleet reached Vareth in less than an hour. In the Great Council chamber, alarms rang and lights flashed. Every corner of the room was filled with tension. Counselors shouted over each other, claws pounding tables, scales rattling with worry. For the first time in generations, the Varkesh Dominion felt true fear. Admiral Sorn stood at the front of the room, his eyes dark with anger and disbelief. "Counselors, you must understand. 50 of our best ships destroyed by a single human vessel. This is not a drill. This is real. We have underestimated them. They are stronger, faster, and more dangerous than anything we have faced before." The chamber was silent for a moment. Then Counselor Tyrion spoke. His voice was calm but carried urgency. "You mean humans?" "Yes," Sorn growled. "They are Terran in design. Legends say they are extinct, and we thought that was true. It is not. They are alive, and they are not ordinary. Our fleets cannot stand against them unprepared." Some counselors protested. "Impossible. Humans were wiped out long ago. How can one ship destroy so many of ours?" "Are you certain the readings are correct?" Sorn hissed. "The readings are correct. Every piece of data confirms it. The humans are back, and they are terrifying." Tyrion leaned forward, his voice trembling. "Then we have made a grave mistake. For decades we ignored warnings. We assumed humans were gone. But now they have returned. And they have shown their strength. We must act immediately." The council debated furiously. Some wanted to send diplomacy to plead and negotiate. Others demanded an all-out attack to crush the humans before they could strike again. But the evidence was clear. Humans did not fight like other species. They were clever, precise, and relentless. One misstep could destroy the Dominion entirely. Admiral Sorn slammed his claw on the table. "We cannot wait. We must mobilize every fleet in our reach. All planets, stations, and outposts must prepare for war. I want every ship armed, fueled, and ready. No exceptions." In the outer sectors, fleets were scrambled. Pilots rushed to their fighters. Engineers worked day and night to repair damaged cruisers, and weapons specialists recalibrated their cannons. The Dominion had not seen this level of urgency in decades. Every world felt the weight of the threat. The humans had returned, and the Varkesh knew it. Meanwhile, the USS Valiant had moved several light years away from the battlefield. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. He had received signals of the Dominion's panic, intercepted through communications picked up by the ship's long-range sensors. "Captain," Lieutenant Ava Brooks said, "they are mobilizing. Entire fleets. They are sending messages to all sectors. Everyone knows we are here. The Varkesh are preparing for something huge." Cole's jaw tightened. "Let them. Humans have faced worse. Let them see why they feared us in the past. Keep weapons ready. Shields up. Engines at full. We move only when necessary. Survival first." The crew worked efficiently. Each human knew their station, their task, and their duty. They did not panic, they did not rush blindly. Everything was precise, calculated, and effective. Every sensor sweep, every weapon test, every system check was a step toward surviving the coming storm. Back in Vareth, Counselor Tyrion addressed the full council. We face a species that refuses to surrender, that survives where others die, that fights with unmatched precision. We cannot underestimate them. We must assume that any fleet we send may be destroyed. We need a new strategy, one that can withstand their power and anticipate their moves. Some counselors shook their heads in disbelief. We have thousands of ships. What makes you think a single human ship can threaten all of us? Tyrion's eyes narrowed. Because it has already done so. 50 ships destroyed, and the humans did not break a sweat. They are not like any enemy we have fought before. They are death incarnate in a single vessel, and if we do not act carefully, they will destroy more. Admiral Sorn moved to the Council's holographic display. He projected the battle from the previous encounter, the Valiant moving through the Varkesh fleet with deadly precision. Look at this. Their movements, their timing, their firepower. They are not just powerful. They are intelligent, coordinated, and relentless. This is a single human warship. Imagine a fleet of them, the Council gasped. Some members could not hide their fear. Many whispered that legends had always told the truth. Humans were not ordinary. They were monsters in combat, but monsters that fought for survival and never surrendered. Meanwhile, across the Dominion, engineers worked around the clock to repair fleets and create new weapons capable of piercing human shields. Pilots trained relentlessly, running simulations to anticipate every human tactic they could imagine. But deep down, many knew that simulations would fail. Humans had a way of thinking differently, of finding solutions in impossible situations. Back aboard the Valiant, the humans received data on the Varkesh mobilization. Ava Brooks studied it carefully. Captain, they are gathering hundreds of ships, dreadnoughts, cruisers, frigates. They are preparing for a massive strike. If we stay here, they will find us and attack. Cole leaned back in his chair, calm as ever. Then we move. Set a course for the jump point near the nebula. It will take them time to locate us. Let them prepare all they want. Humans do not run, but we choose the battleground carefully. The Valiant slipped through space, engines humming softly. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, cold and beautiful. But every star could hide danger. Every system could hide enemies. And yet the humans moved confidently. They knew the galaxy was dangerous. They knew enemies were everywhere. But they also knew one truth. Humans survive and humans fight. In the Dominion capital, Tyrion continued to address the council. We cannot rely on numbers alone. They will destroy our fleets if we continue this way. We must understand them, anticipate them, and strike only when we are certain of victory. Humans are not ordinary. They are extraordinary. And if we fail to respect that, we will be destroyed. Counselors murmured, uneasy. Some had never faced true fear before. Some had always believed that the Dominion was invincible. But now doubt spread like wildfire. The humans had returned, and their power was undeniable. On the Valiant, Cole and his crew prepared for the journey ahead. They repaired minor systems, reinforced shields, and ran drills to ensure that everyone knew their role. Ava Brooks moved from console to console, ensuring that every sensor, weapon, and engine system was fully operational. Captain, she said finally, they will find us eventually. There is no hiding. The Dominion will come for us. Cole nodded slowly. Then we remind them why humans survive. Let them come. We will face them with precision, strategy, and determination. They may have numbers. They may have pride, but we have humans, and humans never give up. The Valiant moved silently through the void, a single warship against the galaxy. Its presence had already changed everything. Across countless systems, the story of the human ship spread. Messages of warning traveled faster than fleets. Every world knew that humans had returned. Every species would remember that a single ship could destroy 50 others in hours. In the Dominion, fleets moved into position. Ships were armed, supplies were stocked, and pilots trained for combat. But fear lingered in every mind. Humans were different. Humans were unpredictable. Humans were deadly, and the Dominion had already felt their power. Captain Cole watched the stars drift by. Prepare for the next encounter, he said calmly. It will come, and when it does, humans will survive as they always have, and we will show them why they should never forget our name. Ava Brooks nodded. Captain, they will come in force. Hundreds of ships. This will be the real test. Cole's eyes were steady, his voice firm. Let them come. Humans face impossible odds and survive. Let the galaxy see what a human warship can do. Let them remember. Let them fear us. And let them learn. Humans never surrender. The Valiant glided through space, silent, unstoppable, and ready. The Dominion would strike soon. The galaxy would watch, and the humans would show them the power of survival, skill, and determination. The war had only begun, and the legend of the humans was growing. The nebula stretched across the void like a cloud of smoke and fire. Stars were dimmed behind the swirling gases, and the light bent strangely as it passed through the thick haze. Here, the Varkesh Dominion had gathered its largest fleet. Hundreds of warships, from massive dreadnoughts to fast strike cruisers, filled the space like a moving fortress. Every ship's weapons were charged, shields at full strength. The Dominion was ready to destroy the human vessel once and for all. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the bridge of the USS Valiant, looking out at the enemy formation. His crew moved calmly, checking weapons and scanning the approaching fleet. Lieutenant Ava Brooks studied the sensors, her eyes scanning dozens of targets. Captain, they are fully prepared. Every ship is armed and moving into position. They plan to encircle us completely. Cole nodded slowly. Good, let them form a trap. Humans do not fear numbers. We fight with skill, precision, and strategy. Let's see if they can withstand us. The first wave of Varkesh ships moved forward. Plasma cannons charged, turrets rotated, and missiles streaked through the void. The Valiant's shields flared bright white, absorbing the attacks. Sparks danced across the hull, but the ship remained steady. Ava's voice was calm, shields holding at full power. Weapons ready, Captain. Cole gripped the edge of his chair. Target the lead cruisers. Focus fire on their forward weapons. Disable them first. The railguns of the Valiant roared to life. Pulses of energy shot forward with deadly accuracy. The first two cruisers erupted in fire and metal. Their shields shattered in an instant. Smaller ships attempting to flank the Valiant were cut down before they could reach firing range. On the Varkesh flagship, Admiral Soren's claws gripped the command table tightly. Impossible, he hissed. How can a single ship destroy so many of ours? Their weapons. They move too fast, strike too accurately. This cannot be human. It is a monster. Officers scrambled to reprogram targeting systems, trying to anticipate the human maneuvers. But the Valiant was faster, smarter, and more unpredictable than anything they had encountered. Every attack was met with precision defense and counterstrike. Cole's voice was steady over the bridge intercom. All sections maintain focus. Fire only when the target is locked. Keep shields strong. Evade when necessary. This is not just survival, it is a demonstration. Let them learn what humans do best. The battle raged for hours. Ships moved like shadows, dodging fire, striking when weak points were revealed. The Valiant moved through the fleet with terrifying efficiency. Never reckless, never slow. Energy beams tore through cruisers. Torpedoes were deflected and smaller ships were destroyed in volleys of calculated fire. Ava Brooks' fingers flew over the console. Captain, they are trying a new tactic. Fast attack ships approaching from the rear. They plan to flank us. Cole's eyes narrowed. Bring the port cannons online. Rotate the ship slightly to angle shields. Prepare countermeasures. We will not be surrounded. The Valiant twisted through space, shields flaring as attacks hit from every angle. Its counterstrikes were deadly, slicing through enemy lines and leaving burning wreckage in its wake. Even the smallest Varkesh vessel stood little chance against the humans' calculated fury. In the nebula, smoke and debris filled the void. The battlefield was a chaotic storm of metal, fire, and energy beams. Every Varkesh ship that attempted a direct attack was either destroyed or forced to retreat. Even the dreadnoughts, heavily armed and shielded, were damaged by the precise attacks of the Valiant. Ava Brooks reported, Captain, the flagship is attempting a full assault. They are sending all remaining power forward. This will be their most aggressive attack yet. Cole leaned forward. Good, let them come. Focus all fire on their main weapons. Disable the threat first, then let them see the cost of challenging a human ship. The Varkesh flagship's weapons charged, releasing massive plasma beams that lit up the nebula. The Valiant raised shields, absorbing the hits with minimal damage. Then the humans fired back. Railguns, particle beams, and torpedoes struck the flagship from multiple angles. Explosions tore through its hull, shields collapsed, and the dreadnought began to drift, crippled and burning. Soren roared in fury. Focus fire! Destroy that ship before it destroys us all. But it was too late. The Valiant moved again, striking the remaining fleet with unrelenting precision. Small cruisers were torn apart in volleys, dreadnoughts were crippled, and the morale of the Varkesh crews began to crumble. Ships broke formation, attempting to flee, only to be intercepted by precise human fire. Hours passed and the nebula was littered with wreckage. Hundreds of Varkesh ships had been destroyed or disabled. The Valiant remained intact, its shield strong, engines steady, weapons systems fully operational. Not a single human was lost and the crew moved efficiently, executing every order without hesitation. On the bridge, Ava Brooks looked at the captain. "Captain, they are retreating. Only a few ships remain intact. The rest are drifting or burning." Cole's face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Let them retreat. We are not monsters. We do not pursue unless necessary. But they will remember this day. The galaxy will remember. Humans fight, humans survive, and humans do not surrender." The Varkesh fleet had been shattered. Ships that once symbolized power and pride now floated silently in the void, wrecked and burning. Survivors sent panicked messages, warning others of the single human ship that had destroyed so many of them. Across the Dominion, fear spread like wildfire. In Vareth, Counselor Tyrion watched the aftermath of the battle through live data feeds. His heart sank. "They are back," he whispered. "The humans. They are more powerful than anyone imagined. We have underestimated them for centuries." Sorn's pride had turned to shame. He had mobilized the best ships, the best crews, and the most advanced weapons, and yet one human warship had destroyed them all. We cannot fight them with what we have," he admitted, voice low. "They are not ordinary. They are beyond anything in our records." Meanwhile, on the Valiant, the crew began minor repairs and system checks. Despite the intensity of the battle, the humans were ready. Their calm efficiency, focus, and determination had turned the tide against overwhelming odds. They had proven why humans were feared, why they survived where others failed. Cole walked to the viewport, looking out at the nebula filled with debris. Stars flickered in the distance and small fragments of enemy ships drifted silently. The battlefield was quiet now, but the lesson had been delivered. Ava Brooks stood beside him. "Captain, they will send more ships. The Dominion will rebuild. They won't forget today." Cole nodded slowly. "Then we will be ready. Humans have survived impossible odds before. We will survive again. Let them come. Let them see what it means when a human warship strikes." The Valiant moved steadily through the nebula, engines humming softly. Outside, the debris of battle floated like ghosts in the void. The humans had won this encounter, but they knew it was only the beginning. The galaxy would remember this day. The humans were back. The Valiant had proven their power, precision, and courage. And the Dominion, once proud and unchallenged, now knew fear. In every system that monitored the battle, whispers spread. "A human ship destroyed 50 ships alone. The humans are alive. They are more than legends." Inside the Valiant, Captain Cole turned to his crew. "Good work. Stay alert. This battle is over, but the war is only beginning. The galaxy will test us. But humans always survive." Ava Brooks smiled faintly. "They will come in force next time, Captain." Cole's eyes were steady, full of determination. "Let them. Let the galaxy see what humans do when they are pushed to the edge. Let them fear what survival truly means. We will show them. And when the next battle comes, we will be ready." The Valiant continued its course, a single warship that had defeated a fleet, surviving against all odds. In the quiet of space, one truth became clear. Humans were back, humans were unstoppable, and the galaxy would never forget their power. The galaxy was quiet, but it was a quiet filled with fear. News of the USS Valiant's victory over the Varkesh fleet spread faster than any message before. Across countless systems, transmissions carried the same report. A single human warship had destroyed 50 of the Dominion's best ships, leaving wreckage floating in the void. Entire civilizations paused in disbelief, realizing that humans were no longer a forgotten species, no longer legends of the past. Humans were back, and they were dangerous. In Vareth, the council chamber was filled with panic. Counselor Tyrion moved between stations, watching live data feeds of the Varkesh fleets attempting to regroup. "They've lost entire squadrons," he whispered. "Hundreds of ships. And the humans? They are still intact. They have done what no one thought possible." Admiral Sorn stood beside him, claws clenched tightly. "Our pride has failed us. Every plan, every strategy, every weapon, useless. One ship has broken our fleet, and we cannot recover fast enough. Humans are not ordinary. They are a force beyond our comprehension. Tyrion's scales shivered. Then we must do something else. Diplomacy, perhaps. Or retreat, regroup, and prepare for the worst. The humans will not stop. They will strike again if provoked. They are relentless. Meanwhile, in the void, far from the Dominion, the Valiant sailed silently. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the bridge staring at the stars. His crew moved efficiently, repairing minor damage and recalibrating shields. Lieutenant Ava Brooks monitored the sensors, noting faint signals of remaining Varkesh ships. "Captain," Ava said, "the Dominion is trying to gather survivors. They are mobilizing other fleets, but they are hesitant now." "Everyone knows what we can do," Cole nodded. "Let them be hesitant. Let the galaxy see what humans are capable of. We survive, and we will fight only when necessary. But the story of today will travel far, and fear will follow it." The Valiant's movement through space was quiet but deliberate. It glided past the wreckage of the Varkesh fleet, a silent reminder of human strength and precision. Scattered debris reflected starlight, a graveyard of pride and arrogance. The humans aboard did not celebrate, did not cheer. They had survived, and they had proven themselves, but they knew the galaxy would test them again. On the surviving Varkesh ships, panic had set in. Pilots whispered to one another. Crews questioned their leaders, and officers argued over the next step. Some suggested immediate surrender, hoping to avoid further destruction. Others wanted to rebuild to fight back, but fear and hesitation spread quickly. Humans had returned, and the Varkesh could not ignore it. Counselor Tyrion convened the council again. His voice was calm but firm, cutting through the murmur of panic. "We have been humiliated. One human ship has shown the power of our enemies, and we cannot continue as we have. We must rethink everything. Our strategies, our fleets, our alliances. The humans will not stop until the galaxy knows their strength, and we must survive. That is our first duty." The council agreed reluctantly. Plans were made to avoid direct conflict with the humans for the time being. New strategies were drafted, fleets were repositioned, and intelligence efforts intensified. But deep down, every member of the council knew the truth. Humans were unlike any other species they had faced. One ship had destroyed 50 of their best vessels with precision and skill. And that was only the beginning. On board the Valiant, Captain Cole spoke to his crew. "Today we have shown what humans can do. But our mission is not over. The Dominion will recover, and they will try again. We must be ready." "Always ready," Ava Brooks glanced at him. "Captain, do we stay in Dominion space or continue toward safe territory?" Cole's eyes were steady, unwavering. "We move toward home. Humanity has survived long enough. Let them watch, let them learn. Our reputation is growing, and the galaxy will remember this day. But we are not reckless. We survive first, fight when necessary. That is what humans do." The Valiant turned its course toward a distant jump point, leaving the nebula behind. Stars drifted by, distant suns casting faint light across the ship's hull. The crew moved with calm precision, aware of the legacy they were creating. In the Dominion, the stories of the Valiant spread like wildfire. Across systems, colonies, and fleets, every transmission carried the same message. Humans were back, and they were powerful. Leaders debated, soldiers trained, and the people whispered. Fear of humanity spread faster than preparation or retaliation could. Even neutral species, those who had never encountered humans before, took note. Scientists, traders, and explorers monitored the movement of the Valiant, trying to understand the humans' technology, their tactics, their resolve. Legends that had once been dismissed as myth were suddenly believed. Humans were alive, and humans had returned stronger than ever. Back on the Valiant, minor repairs continued. Crew members moved efficiently, reinforcing shields, repairing energy conduits, and checking weapons. There was no celebration, no bravado. They had survived, and they had proven their skill. But the humans did not underestimate what lay ahead. Captain Cole walked across the bridge, observing his crew. "Every battle teaches us something," he said. "Every engagement shows our strengths, and every threat reminds us of what we must do. Humans survive because we prepare, because we fight smart, and because we never surrender." Ava Brooks nodded. "The Dominion will send more fleets, Captain. They won't forget today. They will try to avenge their losses." Cole's eyes remained steady. "Let them. Let the galaxy see what humans can do when tested. We will face them with skill, courage, and determination. They may have numbers, they may have pride, but humans have something they cannot understand: the will to survive and to fight beyond all odds. The Valiant moved onward, leaving behind the nebula, the wreckage, and the legacy of destruction it had caused. Across the galaxy, whispers became stories, stories became warnings, and warnings became fear. The legend of the humans was growing, and no species could ignore it. In the Dominion, the Council worked tirelessly. They rebuilt fleets, trained new crews, and revised strategies, but every plan was haunted by the memory of a single human ship. Leaders remembered the precision, the courage, and the relentless efficiency of the Valiant. No matter what they prepared, one thought remained: humans survived, humans fought, and humans did not surrender. Across the stars, the story of the Valiant inspired fear, respect, and curiosity. Young pilots trained harder, commanders studied human tactics, and scientists analyzed technology that no one had seen before. Everywhere the lesson was clear: underestimate humans at your own peril. On board the Valiant, Captain Cole watched the stars drift past. The crew was calm, systems were repaired, and the humans had proven their strength. But he knew the journey was not over. Humanity's return would be remembered, but it would also invite challenges, dangers, and battles yet unseen. He turned to Ava Brooks. "Prepare the ship for long-range travel. We move toward Sol. Humanity needs to be ready. The galaxy will continue to test us, and we will meet every challenge." "Humans survive no matter the odds," Ava nodded. "Captain, the galaxy will never forget today. They will fear us." Cole's face was steady, determined. "Good, let them fear. Let them respect. Let them know that humans are not gone. Humans are back, and humans never surrender. Today we have changed the galaxy forever." The Valiant glided silently through space, a single warship that had defied all odds, destroyed entire fleets, and left an indelible mark on the Dominion. Its crew moved with calm efficiency, aware of the legend they were creating. The galaxy had witnessed the return of humans, and no species would ever forget the power, courage, and determination of the human warship. And somewhere in the distant stars, the message echoed. A human ship had come, it had fought, it had survived, and destruction had followed in its wake. The humans were back, and the galaxy would never be the same.